Hey guys, welcome to Cooking with Michelle. I got another great dinner for you here. It's surf and turf. We're gonna have steak, shrimp, and pasta. Okay, so my pan is hot. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in here so the pan's not steaming and burning while I'm trying to get this all settled. So I actually have 4 steaks because we're having this for dinner. The first 3 are already seasoned. This one I'm going to season with some oil. I'm going to put some oil on it. On the top side, we're going to put some salt and pepper. Then I have this handy meat tenderizer that I like to use. You can use a fork to do it. But I do it always after a season so the season can get through to the steak. You see that? I'm going to do the other side with a fork so y'all can see that a fork works. But you got to hold it. You just want to tenderize it. And this is a New York strip steak. And you want to always make sure you take your steaks out and let them come room temperature. That's really with any meat. You want it room temperature before you start to cook it. And I seasoned these earlier so that they would be ready to go in the pan. And while we're letting these steaks cook, we like to eat them like medium well. My husband and kids probably like it more medium, but I'm more medium well person. So I try to make it more medium, but it always ends up medium well these days. But we're going to try. So you only really want to let it cook on one side for 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your temperature that you want them cooked. So 3 to 5 minutes, these are only about a 1/4 inch thick. So they're not that thick. They're not going to take that long to cook. And they'll continue to cook once you take them out the pan. And while it's cooking, I'm going to take this butter and this garlic. It's a tablespoon of butter, about a teaspoon of mixed garlic, and I'm going to mix it together. Because this is actually called butter garlic steak. Excuse me, my words today are just not coming together. Oops. And you may hear in the background that water is boiling for the pasta. As soon as we flip these steaks, we'll go add the pasta to the water. Nope, they're not ready. So we'll let them cook a little bit longer. Move them over to the center of the pan. So while they're cooking still, let's go add the pasta to the water. And this is angel hair pasta. Some call it caprolini pasta, but it's angel hair pasta. It's the thinnest pasta you can get. Get my pasta spoon here. Just so the pasta gets in the water, it gets all covered. This water was pre-salted before the pasta got in here. We salted the water and had it come to a boil. And this really will only take 7 minutes. Angel hair pasta cooks very fast because of its thinness. So let's take our steaks. Look at that. So now that we flipped them, there'll actually only be another 3 to 4 minutes. So the burner, we tried to set this burner up so that we could get it right in sight, and it's cooking unevenly, as you can see, because these burners aren't that wide, but it's still cooking. It's just not browning evenly. So again, we can just move it over to get it browned a little bit more if you want it browned more. But the steak is done. I mean, it's not done. It's cooking till it gets done. It's just not giving you that brown food looks good moment. On the right side, that is. But the left side, brown food looks good. And like I said, and not only with steak, with any meat, if you're cooking chicken, seafood, you don't want to cook it from a cold temperature. You don't want to put something cold into a hot pan, because then it cooks. All food cooks from the outside in. So if it's cold, the outside is going to cook faster than the inside will. So these two steaks are almost done. And this is called Steak and Shrimp Scampi. That's what this meal is called. Steak and Shrimp Scampi. So it's your best surf and turf you can eat. It doesn't actually take long. This is still like a 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how often you cook or your level of cooking as a home cook. If you a chef, you gonna have this food done in like 20 minutes, but as a home cook, 30 to 45 minutes. So we're gonna take this one out, let it rest, bring this one over, because this is where the heat is at, and let it brown some, and just add another piece. I'm checking the pasta. See, this is angel hair pasta. We said about 7 minutes. But yeah, this pasta's done. So I'm going to turn it off, but I'm not going to leave it in the water because we don't want it to keep cooking. So this is a pasta pot, so I literally can just lift it out the water. I have this bowl over here. I'm going to pull the pasta in. So as you can see, that pasta didn't even take 7 minutes. And you would spread this on the steak. Once the steak is done. Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. We had to switch our positions due to the pot cooking unevenly. So we wanted the more even station of cooking. So we're going to start our shrimp at this time. So our pasta is done. It's out the water. We're going to start cooking our shrimp that's already been cleaned and deveined. When you cook this dish, you don't want to cook shrimp that frozen cooked shrimp, because that's not going to come out right. You're going to have tough, overcooked shrimp that's going to be harder than fried steak. So we got that. We're going to put our oil and our butter in the pan. Yes, at the same time, oil and butter. It is. Okay. So we got our oil and our butter in the pan. Now we're going to add to this our garlic and our crushed peppers. It's not a lot, just a little. So, sorry about that. Had to get a spoon. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit. Get a little toasty in here. Okay. If you was here, you could smell this aroma. You'd be like, oh. You definitely would be ready to eat. So to this, we are going to add our shrimp. One at a time. You can use any size shrimp you want. It doesn't matter what the size or any kind shrimp you want. The shrimp I'm cooking with today is called red Argentina shrimp. They're wild caught, but they are very tasty. They actually do still change color. Even though they look a little bit red, they will turn pink. These are called the jumbo size. So you will have plenty for everyone. Just making room to get these guys all in this pan. Didn't realize how many was actually in this one pack. But we're going to get them in here. Get them cooking. But you see, it makes a difference when you got a pan that's cooking even. Everything cooks evenly at the same time. Okay, there we go. Okay. We are finished with that. We're going to put some salt and pepper on here now. Get it in that pan. We didn't use a lot of seasoning that have any salt or pepper in it yet, so we're going to get this in here. Our salt and pepper. Let it get pink on one side. I got my tongs. See, look at that. Pink on one side. So these shrimp are ready to turn. They don't take long at all. Like I said, this is not a long meal. It's not going to take you a long time to cook it. Just turn them over to the other side so they can get done. I actually cooked this meal before for one of my daughters on her show, and so you might say, I know that dish. Yes. And but it's a very tasty dish. I cooked it for my family first. It's not spicy at all, even though you're using the crushed red peppers, because it's not a lot. It is like a scampi with the butter and everything. So once these shrimp finish cooking, you're actually going to take them out the pan so you can make your sauce. And some of my shrimp are really already done. And just like I told you before in one of my other clips, if you saw it, you don't want to overcook your shrimp or your lobster or your crab because it gets tough. And when it's tough, it's not tasty at all. So when it's ready to come out, you take it out, even if all of them aren't ready to come out. Take it out the pan. And smaller ones are going to be cooked more faster than the bigger shrimp. But look at that. Look how fast that was. Done. Smelling delicious. And before you know it, it will be ready. Look at that. Look at those shrimp. All nice and tasty. Ready for your dish. I'm going to have to sit that down a little bit. It started getting hot. Now I'm going to sit them over there, away from the pot. And now we're going to add our white wine to this pot, our lemon juice. We'll wait for the parsley together. I'm actually, I don't know if you can see this. You see? Nice and slow. And this is cooking wine. It's not wine, you know, regular wine. This is actually cooking wine. You can find it at any grocery store. They all have it. Doesn't matter the brand. It's just regular cooking wine. Let that boil for a little. We're going to add our parsley. I'm scratching up my pan using that tongs. So now that is ready for our pasta. We're going to add our pasta to this. I knew that was going to happen. So we're adding our pasta. That's my fault because I didn't rinse it. So make sure when you take your pasta out the pasta water, you rinse it so it'll stop cooking and won't stick. So, but we're going to swim our pasta around. We're going to turn this pot off. Get it all in there. Then we're going to add the shrimp back to it. So, as you can see, because it can be made in small portions, I needed to double my sauce because I was trying to cook extra for everyone. But it just needs some more sauce. But all this is in that sauce already. You could always add some pasta water. So let us do that. Because the pasta water is right here. So you can add some pasta water. To your pasta and sauce. And then that way, it's not as thick. There we go. You see that? You add the pasta water because it's already salted and seasoned from the pasta. So you're not adding plain water, which then will give you a plain flavor. But is there such a thing as plain water? So I mean regular water from out the faucet. So yeah, so we have our plate. We're going to start plating. We're going to put our pasta and shrimp on this plate. We will clean that mess up. Look at all those shrimp. And that's actually a lot of pasta. Okay, guys, let's add our steak to our plate. So now we're going to take our garlic butter steak and we're going to slice it. Of course, towards the green. We're going to slice this up. See that? A little bit more done than medium well. But that was because of our pan situation. It just wouldn't hold the heat, so we had to let it stay on a little bit longer than usual. So we're going to take our steak and add it to our dish. Cut one more up. I know y'all probably saw that. I know I had that knife backwards. Living dangerously around here. But look at that. Look how that's looking already. This steak is not hard to cut. It's really me, y'all. I actually just got some shots in my hand because I have rheumatoid arthritis. And for some reason, it attacks my hands and wrists. And so for that reason, a lot of reasons, you know, we changed our diets around here. We changed the way we eat. We really don't eat beef a lot. We eat it occasionally because the doctors say we need to keep it in our diet because, of course, from me trying to take it out my diet, I'm also anemic now. But there we have our steak and shrimp scampi pasta. We'll add a little bit of parsley. Now, can you imagine that on a date night? You come home, your wife done cooked this or your husband done cooked this for you. I'm not one-sided. Men and women can cook. In my family, they do it all. They cook, they clean, they work, they babysit. Well, they don't babysit. They take care of their own children. But this is our steak and shrimp scampi dinner. Enjoy.